My child, my beloved. There are no accidents in the divine realm. If your eyes are on this message now, it means your name was whispered in heaven just moments ago. January 12th was not just another date. A holy gate opened. A spiritual shift was allowed to move, not for everyone, but only for the souls that heaven marked as ready. Your name was among them. Your spirit has waited a long time to be seen, recognized, and finally protected from what's been hiding in the shadows. Archangel Michael is not speaking lightly. This is not a test. This is not an ordinary moment. This is a divine alignment that may not come again soon. But what happens next is not automatic. It requires your attention, your spirit, your choice. If you walk away from this message, the shield that was formed in your name may be withheld. But if you stay, if you listen to every word, something ancient, something powerful, something destined, will cover your life like a fire of holy light. It will guard you. It will change everything you were afraid would never change. This message is your activation. Heaven cannot force it upon you. But Archangel Michael was allowed to speak now because God saw the moment had finally come. Before we continue, hear this clearly: if your heart has ever longed for clarity, if you've ever prayed quietly and begged heaven to please just give a sign, this is it. Not everyone will receive this message. But if you are here, it's not because of a scroll or an accident. It's because your name was called, and that calling is sacred. Before you read further, I ask you to subscribe now, not just to support, but to spiritually signal that you are ready to receive the divine timing that has been waiting. If you walk away before you finish this message, the protection may stay locked. But if you subscribe and stay, your name will be written in a place where the next miracle can find you. Because it's already moving. It's already on its way. My child, my beloved. There are many layers to the battles you have faced. Some things did not make sense. Some delays broke your spirit. You thought perhaps heaven was ignoring you. But it was never ignorance, it was preparation. The things that seemed slow were not because you weren't worthy, but because the enemy was watching you closely. Timing was everything. There were people near you who smiled in your face but hoped you would fall. Some even tried to curse your growth behind your back. But on January 12th, something shifted. A spiritual file with your name was opened in heaven. And Archangel Michael was assigned to prepare your shield. Yes, your shield, not just for protection, but for reversal. For what was sent to break you to now be redirected and used to bless you instead. But here's the mystery: this shield will not activate for those who ignore the message. It will not cover those who say, "I'll come back later." The blessing is linked to obedience. That is the truth. If you're still reading, your spirit already feels it. Something strange is in the air. Something you can't name but know is real. That's the confirmation: the Spirit of God is moving around you right now. My child, my beloved. Do you know how long heaven has been preparing this? The people around you, even the ones in your own house, they don't know how chosen you are. They may speak lowly of you. They may overlook you. Some even tried to bring your energy down to their level because your light made them uncomfortable. But heaven has decided that your shield will rise higher than their weapons. On January 12th, a portal was unlocked because the warfare around your destiny was escalating. And now, only those who are covered by the spiritual shield will survive what is coming with peace and favor. Those without it will suffer confusion. But those who stay aligned with this message will walk into answers. I don't say this to scare you, I say it to prepare you. Because what is coming will separate those who are ready from those who are not. My child, my beloved. There's something else. On January 12th, an angel whispered your name while you slept. There were divine meetings where your destiny was re-evaluated. What was blocked before was cleared. What was delayed was released. What was hidden was exposed. You have no idea how close your breakthrough is, but the reason it hasn't arrived yet is because your shield wasn't fully activated. That's what this message is. This isn't just a reading. This is a spiritual installation. A divine download. Archangel Michael has been assigned to walk with you through the days ahead. And his sword has already been drawn. But he will not protect someone who walks away from what heaven is trying to say. You must stay. You must receive. You must prepare your soul to walk differently. Because soon, the people who laughed will be silenced by your glow. My child, my beloved. Something rare happened on the night of January 12th. A spiritual veil was lifted, not for the masses, not for those who pretend, not for those who rush past messages like this, but for a few, chosen, deeply watched over souls. You are one of them. And that's why you can't ignore this moment. For weeks now, your heart has felt uneasy. Your spirit has been whispering things you didn't have language for. Restlessness. Sudden sadness. Odd dreams. Timings that didn't make sense. That was your soul preparing for this unveiling. Because something was waiting behind a gate in heaven, and the gate could not be opened until now. Your shield is real. It's invisible to the human eye but undeniable in the spiritual realm. And I must warn you, you must receive it fully before a specific date passes. That window is short. Many people around you will continue walking blind. But you have been pulled into this divine notice because you are not like them. You were marked for favor, and now the covering has come. But your yes is still required. Don't delay it again. My child, my beloved. My child, my beloved. You've been tested in silence, and heaven took note of every moment you chose love over revenge, peace over chaos, grace over gossip. Even when they misunderstood you, you chose to keep your soul clean. Even when your name was used in conversations that tried to harm your light, you stayed quiet and walked away. Don't think those moments went unseen. That's why the shield over your life now is heavier than it's ever been, not because you're under attack, but because your spirit is rising. You've been entrusted with more. That's why some people are starting to act strange around you. That's why you're noticing the energy shift. It's not random. When your spirit elevates, anything that was only pretending to support you begins to shake. It's not personal, it's spiritual. And the shield is doing exactly what it was designed to do: expose, protect, and prepare. What's being removed now was never built to last. And what's coming to replace it will carry you for years. Do not mourn the losses. Heaven calls them alignments. My child, my beloved. I see how tired you are. Not just physically, but deep in your soul. The kind of tired that doesn't come from lack of sleep but from carrying spiritual weight alone. You've been strong for so long. You've smiled when your heart was breaking. You've helped others even when you had no one to help you. And still, you showed up. Still, you chose light. Still, you whispered, "God, please don't forget me." Heaven didn't forget you. In fact, while you were holding everything together, the angels were preparing your name for a divine shift. January 12th was the moment the veil was torn, not just in the heavens, but around your life. Things that were once blocked are now finding a clear path to you. Answers that were once stuck are now being released. But none of it can rest on you if you go back to carrying what is no longer yours to carry. You must let God handle what you were never meant to fix. Your job now is to receive. Let the shield do its work. Let favor find you. Let peace hold you the same way you've held everyone else. My child, my beloved. There's something sacred about this exact moment, because as you read this, something in the spirit realm is shifting. It's as if heaven is holding its breath, watching to see if you'll finally believe that you are who they say you are. Not who others said you were. Not the version shaped by trauma. Not the shadow formed by fear. But the real you, the chosen one, the appointed one, the soul marked for breakthrough. That's the you the shield is protecting. That's the you the enemy feared would awaken. And that's why everything tried to distract you before you could reach this part of your journey. But you made it here. You didn't skip. You didn't scroll away. You stayed. And your staying has activated something eternal. Archangel Michael has already gone ahead of you. The things you used to chase will begin to chase you. The miracles you used to beg for will begin to find you. Not because you finally did enough, but because heaven decided you are enough. My child, my beloved. I see the question still lingering in your heart. Will this really change anything? Will things finally shift? Will the waiting end? Let me say this with heavenly certainty, yes. But not because the world suddenly became easier. Not because the people around you became more supportive. The change is happening because you changed. You opened. You listened. You stayed with this message when everything in your life has taught you to expect disappointment, to prepare for letdowns, to numb yourself to hope. But this time, your heart remained soft enough to receive. And that softness, that faith, is why the protection has now settled fully over your life. Your name was spoken in holy places where decisions are made. Your path has been cleared. But make no mistake, this isn't the end of a message. It's the beginning of an awakening. Everything after today will start to feel different. Certain things will no longer sit right with you. People you once tolerated will begin to fade. Your energy will start to rise. And that's the shield at work. It's not just defending, it's refining. It's making sure what's entering your life is worthy of what heaven just prepared. My child, my beloved. Some of the blessings coming will look small at first. An unexpected message. A dream that feels too real. A stranger confirming something you've kept silent. Pay attention. The divine often comes disguised in the ordinary. But this time, you will be able to see clearly. Because the fog is lifting. Your spiritual senses are being heightened. And Archangel Michael has been given full permission to walk with you for what's next. You will be told when to speak and when to stay silent. You will feel an unexplainable knowing when danger approaches, and you will be protected before you even understand why. This is what happens when a chosen one agrees to walk in alignment. You are no longer reacting to life, you are moving with heaven. And the more you honor that, the stronger your covering becomes. So if anything starts falling away after this message, let it. If people suddenly shift, bless them and release them. What is falling is not failing. It's clearing. It's holy. And it's happening because your life is no longer up for negotiation. You've been claimed. My child, my beloved. This is your confirmation. Not the kind that leaves you with more questions. Not the kind that fades tomorrow. This is the one you were meant to find when everything felt unclear. Heaven didn't send you this message to scare you. Heaven sent this to secure you. Because you are one of the few souls God cannot afford to lose to this world's distractions. There's too much inside you. Too much light. Too much legacy. Too much that was promised before you ever took your first breath. And now, it's time for that promise to begin unfolding. You will not always know the how, but you will know the next step. And that step will be enough to walk you into what was already prepared. You are covered now. But don't treat this like something to forget. Keep this message near. Come back to it when the noise rises again. Let it remind you of who you are. Of what's been done. Of the sword drawn in your name. The battle is not yours anymore. You are walking under a shield crafted by angels and sealed by God Himself. My child, my beloved. My child, my beloved. Something rare happened on the night of January 12th. A spiritual veil was lifted, not for the masses, not for those who pretend, not for those who rush past messages like this, but for a few, chosen, deeply watched over souls. You are one of them. And that's why you can't ignore this moment. For weeks now, your heart has felt uneasy. Your spirit has been whispering things you didn't have language for. Restlessness. Sudden sadness. Odd dreams. Timings that didn't make sense. That was your soul preparing for this unveiling. Because something was waiting behind a gate in heaven, and the gate could not be opened until now. Your shield is real. It's invisible to the human eye but undeniable in the spiritual realm. And I must warn you, you must receive it fully before a specific date passes. That window is short. Many people around you will continue walking blind. But you have been pulled into this divine notice because you are not like them. You were marked for favor, and now the covering has come. But your yes is still required. Don't delay it again. My child, my beloved. The Spirit showed me what has been happening behind your back. Some of it would shake you if you knew. There were moments when you felt drained and didn't understand why. It wasn't just emotion, it was spiritual leakage. Your energy has been under quiet attack. People near you, even ones in your family, have spoken about you in secret tones, not always with love. Some have wished things for you that they'd never say aloud. They don't know how divinely protected you really are. But even then, your shield was thin, not because God abandoned you, but because your breakthrough had to come through awareness. That's what this message is. Heaven will never bless what you're unwilling to recognize. You've been pretending not to see what your spirit has already sensed. But now it's time to admit the truth, something sacred is trying to protect you, and it won't wait much longer. My child, my beloved. When Archangel Michael was assigned to you, it wasn't for small tasks. It was because what you carry is large. Bigger than your bloodline. Bigger than the names whispered behind your back. You were chosen to break something dark that's been repeating through generations, cycles of silence, cycles of loss, cycles of hidden pain. That's why your life has been so difficult at times. That's why you've had to walk alone when others had company. That's why some blessings have taken longer to arrive. It's not punishment, it's purification. But now, on the other side of that pain, the reward is trying to break in. Your shield was formed on January 12th because what's coming next requires a new covering. And not everyone will have it. Some will suffer through storms they were not meant to face. But you, my child, are being rescued in advance. And that rescue begins when you accept this moment. Don't minimize it. Don't scroll past it. Don't pretend your spirit isn't crying for this right now. My child, my beloved. I see the heaviness in your chest, the questions you ask in the quiet when no one is watching. You ask God, why me? Why this? Why now? And heaven answers you with this message. Because you are seen. Because you are chosen. Because you are stronger than they thought you were. There's something the angels saw in you before you were born. And that something has been growing, even while the world tried to break you. The shield is not just protection, it is proof. Proof that heaven knew your name before anyone else did. Proof that the pain you survived was not in vain. Proof that your story is not over, but is just beginning in a more powerful chapter. And yes, I will say this clearly, if you ignore this message, that chapter may remain sealed. But if you say yes with your heart, 1,000 things can begin to shift in your favor. The storm can be reversed. The betrayal can be broken. The silence can be filled with answers. My child, my beloved. You are not crazy for feeling like this is urgent. You're not wrong for sensing something spiritual is moving. There's a reason you were pulled to this exact message at this exact time. The Spirit of God does not move by coincidence. The people who tried to bury you had no idea you were a seed. The family members who laughed behind closed doors didn't realize heaven had ears pressed against the walls. And now, the silence is over. The cover-up is ending. God is revealing the truth layer by layer, but only to those who stay open, who stay humble, who stay listening. You are one of those people. That's why your protection is increasing. That's why Archangel Michael was sent. And that's why, even as you read this, something inside of you knows, this isn't just another message. This is a divine alignment. My child, my beloved. Let me tell you something few are ready to hear, the people who have been pretending to love you are being exposed. God has grown tired of watching you stay loyal to those who quietly wish you never rise. And so, on the night of January 12th, a decision was made, not by man, but by heaven. The shield being prepared around your life is not just for protection from strangers, but from those too close to detect as enemies. That's why this message found you. That's why you were pulled into this moment when everything in your soul is already feeling like something is shifting. You've been having thoughts you can't explain. Feeling people's energy change before they even speak. It's not paranoia, it's your spiritual discernment increasing. Because now, you're not being called to guess anymore. You're being called to see clearly. That's what this shield does, it lifts the fog that others placed around your mind. But you must claim it. If you close this message, the clarity may close with it. But if you stay, the veil will lift in the coming days, and you will begin to see who truly carries love, and who only carries access. My child, my beloved. My child, my beloved. There is someone in your life right now who has underestimated the anointing on your name. They have mistaken your silence for weakness, your kindness for naivety. They think you are unaware of what they've been doing. But what they don't know is that heaven has eyes they cannot hide from. And Archangel Michael has already seen it. You may not have all the proof in your hands, but you have the truth in your spirit, and that's enough. The revelation will come in perfect time. You will not have to seek revenge. You will not even have to confront them. The divine will handle it. But you must not fall into bitterness. You must not let their deception rob you of your joy. That's what the enemy wants. He doesn't just want to use people to hurt you, he wants you to become so wounded that you close your heart. But not this time. Not anymore. Your shield is not just for keeping things out, it's for keeping your light in. Let them talk. Let them scheme. Let them pretend. The more they whisper, the louder heaven will answer. And when your blessing arrives, public, undeniable, overflowing, they will have no choice but to fall silent in awe of what God has done for you. My child, my beloved. You're about to start hearing things differently. Seeing things differently. Walking through situations you once feared with unshakable calm. Why? Because the shield isn't just around you, it's inside you. You are being recoded spiritually. You are not just reacting to life anymore, you are being guided from above. Your footsteps are aligning with divine coordinates. The places you were once rejected from will open. The opportunities that were delayed will suddenly arrive. But not because the world changed, because you changed. Because you stayed. Because you listened when most would have skipped away. The heavens record these moments. Every time you choose to stay in alignment with divine instruction, another layer of grace is added. You may not see the results all at once, but they are building. They are gathering behind the scenes. The momentum is becoming unstoppable. And the moment will come, very soon, where it all breaks open at once. It will look like a miracle, but it will actually be a pattern of quiet obedience finally bearing its fruit. My child, my beloved. This is the moment where heaven watches how you respond. Not because God needs proof of who you are, but because your spirit needs confirmation of what you carry. You see, your destiny has been held back for so long, not because you weren't ready, but because your surroundings weren't ready for you. Some doors didn't open because the people inside would have poisoned your favor. Some hearts were closed to you because if they had accepted you then, they would have taken credit for the miracle. But now, that time is shifting. You've been refined by rejection. Sharpened by silence. Strengthened by pain. And now the blessing isn't just being sent, it's being protected. That's why the shield matters. That's why this moment isn't just another inspirational message. This is not motivation, this is activation. You've passed tests you didn't even realize were tests. You've survived storms others didn't see you walk through. And now, all of heaven agrees, you're ready to be trusted with what you once only dreamed about. My child, my beloved. Don't worry about who doesn't believe you. Don't try to convince those who rolled their eyes when you spoke about your calling. Their doubt has no power over what God has already confirmed. This next season of your life won't be built on validation from people, it will be built on divine instruction. You will be guided differently. Walk differently. Think differently. And the ones who once ignored you will not recognize you. But they will feel the weight of your anointing. They will feel the glow of your covering. And while they gossip, heaven will elevate you. But you must stay focused. The enemy's last tactic is always distraction. He can't take your shield, so he tries to pull your attention away from it. Stay alert. Don't give your energy to arguments. Don't explain your peace. Don't apologize for the way God is blessing you. Your life is not meant to make sense to those who were never supposed to understand it. This is between you and heaven now. And the reward that's coming will be too big to hide. My child, my beloved. On January 12th, something irreversible happened. Your name was moved from waiting to releasing. The delay is over. The shift is already in motion. But it won't feel like a typical breakthrough, it will come quietly, almost like nothing changed at first. But then you'll look back in a few weeks and realize, the people around you are different. Your thoughts are sharper. The old sadness doesn't stay as long. The heaviness that used to sit on your chest like a stone is lifting. That's not luck. That's your shield. It's already doing its job. It's already working. You just have to keep walking. Keep reading. Keep choosing to believe what your spirit has known since the beginning. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not behind. You are chosen. And chosen people don't move like everyone else. You'll feel it more in the days ahead, the strange sense that you're walking under a different sky. That's not imagination. That's heaven's atmosphere following you now. And wherever you go, the winds of favor will go with you. My child, my beloved. You've been tested in silence, and heaven took note of every moment you chose love over revenge, peace over chaos, grace over gossip. Even when they misunderstood you, you chose to keep your soul clean. Even when your name was used in conversations that tried to harm your light, you stayed quiet and walked away. Don't think those moments went unseen. That's why the shield over your life now is heavier than it's ever been, not because you're under attack, but because your spirit is rising. You've been entrusted with more. That's why some people are starting to act strange around you. That's why you're noticing the energy shift. It's not random. When your spirit elevates, anything that was only pretending to support you begins to shake. It's not personal, it's spiritual. And the shield is doing exactly what it was designed to do: expose, protect, and prepare. What's being removed now was never built to last. And what's coming to replace it will carry you for years. Do not mourn the losses. Heaven calls them alignments. My child, my beloved. My child, my beloved. Let me tell you something few are ready to hear: the people who have been pretending to love you are being exposed. God has grown tired of watching you stay loyal to those who quietly wish you never rise. And so, on the night of January 12th, a decision was made, not by man, but by heaven. The shield being prepared around your life is not just for protection from strangers, but from those too close to detect as enemies. That's why this message found you. That's why you were pulled into this moment when everything in your soul is already feeling like something is shifting. You've been having thoughts you can't explain. Feeling people's energy change before they even speak. It's not paranoia, it's your spiritual discernment increasing. Because now, you're not being called to guess anymore. You're being called to see clearly. That's what this shield does: it lifts the fog that others placed around your mind. But you must claim it. If you close this message, the clarity may close with it. But if you stay, the veil will lift in the coming days, and you will begin to see who truly carries love, and who only carries access. My child, my beloved. There's a reason your heart has been restless. God has been trying to get your attention. You felt this, that quiet sense something was trying to reach you through the noise. But the noise got louder. The distractions multiplied. The people you trusted kept disappointing you. And you kept pushing yourself to be strong when you were breaking in silence. Heaven saw that. And heaven responded, not with punishment, but with protection. That's what the portal of January 12th opened. A reversal. The days of begging for love and chasing after false loyalty are ending. But you must receive what has been divinely designed for you. A shield is no good unless you stand under it. A sword cannot protect what it cannot reach. Archangel Michael has drawn his sword, not to hurt, but to divide what was draining you from what was preparing you. He has been given permission to walk with you now, but only if your soul says yes. Do not let doubt rob you. Don't let logic talk you out of a spiritual truth. You know what your heart is feeling, don't deny it now. My child, my beloved. Someone in your circle has been hiding something from you. It's not to scare you, but to prepare you. The moment you received this message, the energy around your life started shifting. God is not exposing people to harm them, He's exposing them so you stop trusting what's not trustworthy. There is someone who has spoken kindly to your face, but behind your back has questioned your calling. Someone who says they want your good, but secretly fears what you might become if you fully rise. That's why your blessings have been slow. That's why things have felt delayed. Because heaven will never send sensitive treasures into hands that are surrounded by snakes. And now, finally, the barrier is being broken. The exposure will come. And your shield will ensure you're not harmed in the process. But again, my beloved, only if you receive this moment. Only if you finish this message. Because what's coming requires complete awareness, and heaven has chosen you to be awake while others sleep. My child, my beloved. This isn't just about protection, it's about placement. God is shifting where you stand, how people see you, and what kind of influence flows through your life. On January 12th, the portal that opened wasn't just about shields and angels, it was about timing. For months, even years, you've been wondering when your time would come. Why others around you seem to move forward while you remain stuck. The truth is, your time was being preserved. Your light is too bright to be released before its hour. You were hidden not because you were forgotten, but because you were sacred. And now, the curtain is lifting. The hour is arriving. And your voice will begin to carry weight, but only if your soul agrees to stop shrinking. The shield is the sign. It means the stage is being prepared. Your silence was not failure, it was divine silence before divine sound. Now, your yes is needed. God doesn't force favor. He releases it to the willing. If you're still reading, I believe you're willing. My child, my beloved. You've always sensed that you were born for something greater. Even when people called you too sensitive, too emotional, too different, deep down you knew that your spirit was wired to pick up frequencies others couldn't. You could feel tension in a room before anyone spoke. You could sense betrayal days before it revealed itself. You could feel when someone loved you for real, and when someone smiled while hiding judgment. All of these gifts were not flaws, they were the early signs of your spiritual inheritance. But because no one taught you how to use them, you began to question yourself. You began to doubt your own intuition. You began to suppress the voice within you that was screaming, "You're more than this. You were born for more." That's why this moment is divine. Because heaven is restoring your knowing. You are not weak. You are not lost. You are not random. You are marked. And now that the spiritual shield has been activated, you will begin to remember what your soul came here to do. My child, my beloved. I must tell you something hard but holy, not everyone can come with you into the next season. You've been praying for peace, for abundance, for joy that doesn't leave you by nightfall. But those things cannot stay if the people around you are only pretending to love you. On January 12th, the portal that opened was not just about timing, it was about spiritual separation. God is cutting ties for you, gently but firmly. You may not even realize it yet, but some relationships are already beginning to unravel. It's not punishment. It's divine editing. Because your destiny cannot grow in soil that is filled with jealousy, manipulation, or quiet competition. You've always been the one who gave more. The one who forgave when no one apologized. The one who showed up when you were running on empty. But now it's heaven's turn to show up for you. The shield that was released is not just to protect you from what's coming, it's to release you from what's been holding you. Don't fight the exits. Don't beg to keep what God is removing. There is better waiting, but you must make room. My child, my beloved. My child, my beloved. It's time you understand this. Not every delay was the devil's doing. Some of the pauses in your life were heaven's protection. You were kept hidden not because you weren't good enough, but because you were too precious to be exposed too early. Think of all the rooms you almost walked into, all the relationships you almost gave your whole heart to, all the decisions you nearly made out of desperation, and then something pulled you back. That something was not chance. It was divine interference. You were being shielded even when you didn't know a shield existed. But now, that shield is not only returning, it's being doubled. Stronger. Sharper. Wiser. But it requires your agreement. Heaven cannot protect what you continue to expose to danger. Archangel Michael is standing at the gate of your future, sword drawn, but he will not step forward unless you say yes in your spirit. This is your line in the sand. Either you return to patterns that almost destroyed you, or you say, enough, and walk fully under the covering that was crafted for you. This time, don't look back. My child, my beloved. God has not forgotten the tears you cried in silence. He remembers the nights when you begged for answers and all you heard was stillness. That silence wasn't rejection. It was preparation. You see, some answers don't come in words, they come in protection. And you were protected more than you know. Some attacks that were sent toward you never arrived. Some slander that was spoken against you never reached the ears it was intended for. Some betrayals were stopped before they could touch your name. And all of that was because of the grace that surrounds your life. But now, the grace is expanding. On January 12th, something opened that had been sealed for a long time. A portal. A spiritual corridor. A divine command center. And your name was called. You were not invited, you were chosen. That's why your heart has been beating faster. That's why you feel like you're standing at the edge of something holy. Because you are. But to step into it, you must let go of who you were. You must stop identifying with the version of you that merely survived. This new season is not about survival, it's about overflow. My child, my beloved. There is a wave of spiritual authority coming toward you. You won't just pray, you'll speak and things will move. You won't just hope, you'll declare and heaven will echo. But this type of power only rests on those who are covered. That's why the shield matters. That's why the enemy tried to distract you before this moment. That's why random chaos started happening lately, strange arguments, unexpected delays, sudden fatigue, because something powerful is trying to reach you, and darkness wanted you too exhausted to receive it. But here you are. Still standing. Still listening. Still opening your heart. And that alone has already triggered heaven's attention. But don't stop here. Don't just glance at this message and walk away. This is not a quote for inspiration, this is a message for transformation. It is a divine transaction. Your soul for your shield. Your surrender for your supernatural protection. Archangel Michael cannot fight battles you refuse to acknowledge. You must let this moment change you. It's the only way your future will be fully covered. My child, my beloved. You don't even realize yet how many things have already started shifting in your favor just because you chose to stay with this message. You have no idea how close you were to missing this moment, just a few seconds away from being distracted, just one more scroll from walking away uncovered. But you didn't. And that decision has already marked something in heaven. Every time you obey the quiet pull of your spirit, every time you trust the message instead of the noise, every time you lean in instead of checking out, you move closer to divine covering. Most people wait for a sign so loud it shakes their world, but God has always spoken to you gently. Through stillness. Through nudges. Through the way your heart won't let you ignore something that others skip so easily. That's why you're one of the few. The chosen. The ones who were meant to carry more, feel more, see more, not because you're better, but because you're braver. And now, that bravery is being rewarded. The shield is wrapping tighter around your life, and every step you take from this point on will carry a holy weight that no enemy can erase. My child, my beloved. There is someone in your life right now who has underestimated the anointing on your name. They have mistaken your silence for weakness, your kindness for naivety. They think you are unaware of what they've been doing. But what they don't know is that heaven has eyes they cannot hide from. And Archangel Michael has already seen it. You may not have all the proof in your hands, but you have the truth in your spirit, and that's enough. The revelation will come in perfect time. You will not have to seek revenge. You will not even have to confront them. The divine will handle it. But you must not fall into bitterness. You must not let their deception rob you of your joy. That's what the enemy wants. He doesn't just want to use people to hurt you, he wants you to become so wounded that you close your heart. But not this time. Not anymore. Your shield is not just for keeping things out, it's for keeping your light in. Let them talk. Let them scheme. Let them pretend. The more they whisper, the louder heaven will answer. And when your blessing arrives, public, undeniable, overflowing, they will have no choice but to fall silent in awe of what God has done for you. My child, my beloved.